Good evening, and this is going to be part one of Meet Me Halfway, Kenny Loggins song coming through, because to be quite honest, I just need to get this song out my head because it's been coming through the last few days. And if you know me by now and you follow me, you'll know that I get messages through songs. You know, me and my twin flame have a deep connection to music, and yeah, all of that. And my spirit guides and my angels, yeah, communicate through music. So I've done the automatic writing, and yeah, this song I just need to get it out of my head, and the message needs to come through also. So yeah. But I've just done some automatic writing, but I did the automatic writing for this yesterday, but another message came through and detoured me. So if you've been following me, you'll know that we talk about the detours that we take on our twin flame path, our spiritual awakening. Yeah, spirit still detours me till this day. Although I'm in a high frequency and I understand this connection. Inside and out now, I live it. I've lived it daily for the last 8 years. Yeah, they still like to detour me. They still like to throw some little spanners in the works for me. For me to figure out on my journey still, because I'm still on it. And yes, I'm the master. I have mastered a lot of the, the energetics that it takes to master on this. In this connection, spiritual awakening, not just twin flame, but spiritual awakening. But yeah, I'm still a student. I'm always a student. I'm humble enough to know that, no matter how high you raise frequency, no matter how high, what you think you might know on this journey, wow, can it send you on more detours and derail you, when you're not looking. The energies, just want to speak about the energies a little bit. Wow, if you're feeling like a lot of anxiousness, and I'm getting like different temperature fluctuations, hot and cold, and yeah, it could be my periPause, and probably half of that is, but I also know for being on the spiritual awakening path, the twin flame path, that yeah, ascension symptoms, and we're going through a lot of purging at the minute, and because of who I am, I also feel the collective, that empathic in me is part of the job, part of this mission. Yeah, lots and lots of different things on this mission of ours. So right, I'm going to get into it then, because I'm going to try cutting these videos off at 20 minutes. So like part 1, 20 minutes, part 2, 20 minutes, so on and so on. And if it takes part 3, part 4, then it does. But, I'm trying to shorten the video so I can get the messages out to you. Because there seems a bit more of an urgency in getting these messages out to the collective. Yeah, we're going through some very intense energy, so I can understand why. Anyhow, so the song lyrics, Meet Me Halfway, Kenny Loggins, in a lifetime made of memories, I believed in destiny, yeah, meet me halfway across the sky, out where the worlds belong to only you and I. Yeah, and that song started coming through, I was like, yeah, okay, there's another twin flame reading coming in. I am a twin flame, I've accepted that a long time ago, and part of moving this journey on and connection is accepting. It's a big part of it, is to accept that you are truly twin flame, and you're not losing your mind, and you never was. And all of what you go through on this path is just to build you up so strong. The judgmental comments that come your way, the people that can't understand what your path is, all of that. Well, it's just to build you up so strong for your mission, because the mission that you've got ahead of you, well, it's not It's not a normal mission, you know. It's not a job. It's a calling. It's your purpose why you're here. It's big. It's big, big, big. You know, missions are big. If you'd have told me 8 years ago, I'd be going through all what I've gone through, the dark night of the soul and the Kundalini, and at the end of it, it's going to be a mission. I'd have gone, yeah, you're crazy. But the realness, you know, of this journey is that, yeah, you go through everything that you go through, although at the time you're going through it, wow, do you not want to go through it? But you go through it all, so it builds you up so strong. It's forging you, you know, into steel. It's that diamond you're getting. You go through that fire, you know. It's that process. It's yeah. You're coming out strong. But I'm getting sidetracked again, derailed. So yeah, Kenny Loggins. Okay, so this song is about compromise, reciprocity, putting in the mutual effort and bridging the gap. Meeting in the middle says it all. So when the lyrics came flooding in, I knew, you know, it's a twin flame. I am twin flame. I've accepted that. So most of my readings are going to be twin flame, or even the angel readings will derail to, you know, twin flame. Yeah, Mary Magdalene, twin flame. All connection. It all circles back. So yeah. So the first line. In a lifetime made of memories, believe in destiny. So fated love and your destiny and the memory of each of us lives, you know, you've had together. So yeah, past lives, and yeah, destiny. It is your destiny. It's fated. It's a connection that was written, you know, a long time ago in the stars. Predestined, preordained, all of that. I'm going to get, yeah, true acceptance. Yeah, it just told me to go for my cards, and I said I'm just going to get a card. And the first card that came out, bottom of the pack, true acceptance. Can't make this stuff up. Find strength in unique views and grow together. Rare, enhance, thrive. Yeah, what was I saying? This journey, it's one of a kind. It's very rare. It's brings you into true acceptance. You know, you do reach that stage, but first you've got to go through the healing, the purging, all of that. You know, you have to truly accept. Come to a point on this journey that, yeah, there's that much magical, supernatural signs, synchronicities that happened. There's a stage you just have to accept. You know, the music telepathy. I questioned that for many, I'd say year, and then I thought, hang on a minute, what's going on here? I can't be a human jukebox all of a sudden, as well as have a spiritual, as well as be experiencing spiritual things. You know, it was all popping off at that point. So there came a time where I did have to accept it. Yeah, and it's find your strength and your unique views, you know. So me being the divine feminine, I have the view of this is a spiritual connection. That was from the off. I never ever doubted that, because me being who I am in this connection, I have that connection source, you know. Like I've said from the very first day, something's guiding me. I feel like there's an invisible force guiding me, very, very powerful. It's that pull. I could feel that pulling. You know, when they first wanted me to wake up, and I didn't want to wake up, I was kicking and screaming, and they was trying to wake me up. It was time, you know, and I could feel that pull, so I just had to accept it. I had to, yeah, you know, the ringing in my ears, the hot and cold temperature, what I'm getting again, the messages in my dreams, the psychic visions, all of that. I had to accept it. I had to accept this was a different connection, you know, to what I'd experienced before. Yeah, but bottom of the pack again, stronger roots. Yeah, building a foundation of trust with someone, faithful friends first. Yeah, so, you know, me and my twin flame, we are friends, been friends from childhood. 37 years? Yeah, 37 years. Maybe coming on for more, I'm not sure, but maybe age 10 and 11 we met, so not sure the actual time, but yeah, about 10. I'd say about 10. Yeah, we always had strong roots from the off. We always had a different connection and understanding of our friendship was built on trust and, you know, love and all of that. Yeah, and yeah. So let's get back to the lyrics. Just gone blank there. What's coming in? So this can happen also. I'm doing a reading and something will come in. So yeah, so compromise and connection. So meeting in the middle, bridging the gap emotionally, physically, combined effort and not just one doing the work. Yeah, you know, yeah, just split the deck. Stability, yeah, finding your balance and not rocking the boat, poised, calm, steady. Yeah, you know, for you to meet meet the middle. First, you've got to balance all this out inside of you. I can't speak today. Is anyone else finding that also? Finding it hard to talk? Yeah, throat chakra. Throat chakra's just come through. You could be getting a message. Somebody might be coming through to give you a message. Is what I'm getting. Somebody wants to talk. Yeah. Right, that could be for somebody. I'm getting sidetracked. So stability. Yeah, so when you meet, you know, finding your balance and not rocking the boat. Yeah, so it's balancing all, you know, your ego mind, your doubts, people's judgmental opinions on this path, on you, on why you're connected to spirit. I've had it all. I've been called voodoo, witch, everything. You know, like the witches of the old times, you know, they used to get burnt at the stake. Well, I always joke that, you know, if I was back in them times, I'd have been burnt at the stake. Yeah, because I'm connected to source. I'm connected to something that people can't see. They're not on my path, so they don't understand how, you know, how connected I am. But yeah, this is what I had to do to come into my balance. I had to, you know, instead of rocking my boat and letting others rock my boat and knock me off balance, I started to accept this was my path. Knew it anyhow, but I was just letting others rock my boat for me. Society's judging you, you know, all the old paradigms, you know, like where a woman got suppressed and a voice got took away. Yeah, you'll see a lot of my posts and my videos. It's about the suppression, the patriarchy, the hierarchy. Yeah, that's my Rose lineage path coming through. That's part of my multidimensional self, Mary Magdalene. Channels Whomage could pop in today in this reading. You never know. I don't ever put limits on my connection to spirit now. You know, I've done the work, balanced myself out. So once I started to balance, you know, my emotions and truly accept I was a twin flame, because it took me a while. I'm not gonna lie, it took me a long time. But then you know, the signs, synchronicities was just too much. I mean, there was just getting too much. In fact, I had one person just turn up at my stall one day, and literally I knew she was there to give me a message from spirit. And because of the psychic medium in me and, you know, precognition, all of that, I thought, okay, what's this about? And you may have heard me tell this story. well, she wasn't there to buy a crystal, but she was messing around with my crystals, and I thought, what's she nervous about? You know, she's gonna speak in a minute. But she was finding it hard to tell me. You know, I think she was finding it hard to accept that she had these gifts because she was a twin flame herself. And then she just said, "Oh, you don't judge people, then, dear." And I was like, "No, I'll never judge people. I've been judged myself, you know, for who I am. No, it's painful to be judged, you know, by others that don't truly know you or know your path. Family, friends, twin flame, they don't know what you're experiencing. I would never ever judge another knowingly. I probably have judged somebody unknowingly, but me and my nature, I'm not a judgmental person. I'm too empathic for that. Hence why I'm divine feminine in this connection. Hence why I have all those qualities of the angelics. Hence why I say hence. That's quite an old word, isn't it? It's an English word, isn't it? In the old times. Yeah, that's probably part of my remembrance of my, you know, multidimensional self coming through, but I always say that word, yeah. But I accept who I am now. And I get that others are not going to accept who I am because they're not walking my path. They're not on the twin flame journey. Some are. You know, when you're a twin flame, you know you're a twin flame. There's no way that you can't not know you're a twin flame. But yeah, I had to do this balancing out first before I came into true acceptance of all the supernatural stuff that happens on this path, you know. And yeah, signs, synchronicities. Yeah, I had to accept all that was real. And I'm not only seeing these numbers now and the signs and synchronicities, but my kids are too, my sons are. You may have heard me talk about this, but in Philadelphia, where Spirit D taught me to, yeah, my son spotted 444, big neon sign. I couldn't miss it. It was huge. It was on the side of a big building, an American building. It's a big alley. So Spirit really wanted me to see that, but not only me, my son spotted it first. Well, I spotted it from the corner of my eye, and then my son nudged me, nearly knocked me over in the taxi. He was like, "Mom," and I was like, "Yeah, son," and I was like, "Yeah, I seen it, but I didn't have a chance to see it. You saw it first." Yeah, 444. Yeah, so I had to accept that these signs, these synchronicities, this lady tipping up to my store was not about buying a crystal off me. No, she then said to me, "Do you know you're a twin flame?" Well, I nearly passed out. I was like, "Yeah, of course I do. I've been on this path quite a long time now." I knew that, but how did she know that? But I knew how she knew that, because she was a twin flame herself, and she also had psychic medium gifts, spiritual gifts that return to you once you do the balancing out in yourself, you know, and then you balance this out in yourself, and then you balance that out in this connection. So mirror souls. So that gets mirrored in the connection. Yeah, very, very strange stuff about on this path. Yeah. Having new experiences. Yeah, I have. I've had many new experiences. Made lots of new friends. Mostly, I would say, on the same frequency as me. Open to spirit, spiritually awake. Yeah, you know, because you align with the ones that are on your frequency. So old friends of mine, some have fallen away, some are still in my life. But I accepted that also, although it was hard for me to say goodbye. I said goodbye with love, you know, and I knew that was it, you know. Our adventures, you know, my old friends, was over. I knew that. I accepted that because I knew I was on to greener pastures. I knew my life, my twin flame journey, was leading me into more adventures, meeting new friends, spiritual friends. Yeah, it's changing everything in my life, and it has changed everything in my life. So I'll get back to the lyrics. Spirit's taking me on a detour, nearly at 20 minutes. So I'll try and make it to 30 minutes, and then I'll cut off and we'll go to part 2. So compromise connection, yeah, meeting in the middle, bridging that gap, emotionally, physically, combined effort. Yeah, that's the balancing out. what you had to do, you know, your dark night of the soul. So me being the divine feminine, I woke up first 8 years ago. I knew this was, you know, a soul connection. I also believe my twin flame did, out of certain things that was being said, but was still battling with it, you know, with the divine masculine, the more in the logic. Whereas, yeah, I woke up first, and yeah, I knew this was a different connection from the get-go. So trying to convince others, family, friends, twin flame, of this connection. No, I stopped doing that, you know, I've stopped doing that. I don't want to explain myself and my connection to my angels, to my spirit team, to my friends, to my family, to my twin flame anymore. I'm exhausted. I don't want to, and I shouldn't have to. My path is my path, and I accept I am a true vessel for spirit, you know, to guide others in this new golden age. This is what I'm here for. So yeah, I won't explain myself anymore. I accept who I am. People can't accept me for who I am, then that's up to them, you know. I'm not, you know, I am who I am. I was born who I am. I've come back to this earthly realm to be, you know, this powerful soul with a mission and help others. And that's not an ego, because you balance all the ego out, you know. Once you do all this balancing of these stones, yeah, your ego is balanced. No, it's just knowing, and I accept who I am. Yeah, you know, if family, friends, and the people that are asleep around me will accept that, that's up to them. I'm not going to force them. I'm not going to judge them for it. You know, everybody has free will. Now, if they're asleep, they're asleep. I'm not. I'm wide awake. This is my destiny. I was meant to wake up. I was meant, you know, to come from behind that veil, let that veil drop away. Now, I'm also an awakener. I awake people. It's part of what I do. Many things. With me being an ancient soul, got many gifts, many creative gifts, many gifts that have returned to me through the healing I've done. And if you'd have told me 8 years ago, I would have been channeling and speaking for angels and Mary Magdalene and speaking dragon light language and speaking light language, even not dragon, just like dragons just recently come through for me, I'd say last year. But yeah, speaking an ancient language, you know, that, yeah, I kind of understand. My soul understands it. It goes straight to the soul. So I'd have gone, you're crazy. You know, just like people who judge me and say, you're crazy. I probably would have gone, you're a bit crazy, but it's your path. At the end of the day, who am I to judge? Nobody has that right to judge another. No, we live in a free world, you know. Getting freed by the day also, you know. We're finding our voices by the day. You might see my other post about women finding the voices and all that. Yeah, it's part of my Mary Magdalene multidimensional Rose lineage path aspect of me, you know, that I understand. But yeah, I'm at this point in this connection. Yeah, I'm not going to explain. I'm not going to explain myself anymore. I'm going to talk about my story. I'm going to talk about my journey of healing. I'm also going to write it in a book, which I keep putting off. And I have to accept that Spirit want me to write this book, and it's going to help many people, have said, millions. And that's not from an ego, but it's going to reach out to people that need to hear my story. And yeah, the human in me says, well, what makes you think your story? People need to hear it. What's your story different to others? We all have our own story, you know. We all have our own path, our own traumas, and all of that, what we've healed. And everybody's story is, you know, everyone has it's worth being heard. You know, if it can help just one person, then that story it's worth being heard, isn't it? Yeah, you know, they want me reaching out globally. Hence why they've got me on TikTok, which, yeah, the ancient soul in me did not want to do it. But again, I had to accept it because the downloads just kept coming in. And like this song, that's why I'm online tonight. I wasn't going to come online tonight, I was going to wait till tomorrow. But yeah, this song needs to, you know, and when the songs come through, that's the download. Spirit wants me getting this message out. People out there, on the twin flame journey, that, you know, you could be crying one minute, you could be hysterical, anger next minute, you know, all different kind of emotions. I've experienced it all, you know, being on my knees one minute, and then I've been like, come on, you're strong enough, you know, you're an old soul. Yeah, it's ups and downs, it's ebbs and flows, it's sideways, it's backwards, it's up, yeah, every which way, you know, it goes. So I know how important my story is, and that is if it just reaches one person. I know how important it is, because one person reached me in my darkest times, where I was still trying to, you know, to heal and balance and figure this connection out, you know, make myself believe I wasn't crazy, you know, because I did feel like I was crazy at certain points of this journey, because my family and friends thought I was as well. So, you know, when you've got those projections pushed on you, it's really hard. It's really hard to stay centered on this path, you know, because, yeah, until you truly accept who you are, that you are hearing angels and they are talking through you, and spirit team is right behind you, and much more. Yeah, till you truly accept who you are, how can you expect others to accept who you are? And that's when I saw a turning point, you know, for me. When I came online, I just thought, I'm just going to blow it all out the water now. It needs to be. Spirit was guiding me that way. I was exhausted with hiding this connection, and hiding, you know, it from people to protect them. It's exhausted. It was making me ill, physically ill, emotionally. And I've been there, and I've had chronic illness for 15, 20 years, and I just felt, I'm not doing it to myself anymore. People can't accept me for who I am, and that I am connected to spirit, and I am here for this purpose. Well, that's fine. I accept me, and that's the only thing, you know. Yeah, I'm at that point that I know that I've got a connection to heaven and earth. You know, I'm the bridge. And at that point, I know I'm that bridge for others to follow. That's not an ego thing neither. It's just that I've walked this path. I've done the healing. I've dared to go into my shadows. I've healed my shadows. You know, I've balanced the shadows out. You need shadow and light. I'm not all light. I'm not a saint, any of that. But what I do know is that, you know, I'm the bridge for others, to follow, to guide also, and I'm that bridge because, you know, my spirit team, my angels, they guide me. You know, they've guided me every step of the way from day one. You know, so if you think you're getting connection from spirit team and your angels, yes you are. Yes you are. Don't question it. You're not crazy. You know, the ringing in your ears, the frequency, all of that. It's getting you ready. It's getting you, it's part of the healing, you know. It's part of that frequency raising, that high consciousness. Yeah. So, let's have a look at the... Yeah, so I'm the bridge. And I'm the bridge for you to follow. Walk with me, or don't, you know, because I'm done explaining what I know, how I know it, and how... and what hard deep inner work it took, you know, for me to reach this point. Yeah, one day I just was like to my partner, I'm a twin flame, and he was like, well, I knew you were something. and maybe it was me, you know, not accepting me. Well, it was me not accepting me that took that, you know, for others to accept who I was. because if you can't accept who you are, how can you expect others to this is a mouthful, accept who you are? Well, you can't. But I saw a big shift, once I started to talk about this journey. I knew I would be one day. I knew the precognition, the all that, clairaudience, all of that. I knew I'd be talking about it. I knew. I warned my son, who was very like, Mum, really? I don't want you getting judged. And I'm like, son, I've been judged from day one, 8 years. I've been judged practically all my life, son. I'm at this point on my journey that I don't care who judges me anymore. It's not I've done that healing, is what I said to him. And I said, and I will be going online soon, because I keep getting the downloads to go online. And I said, and when they start coming through, they're getting me ready for something else. This path, twists and turns. 1 minute you can be making candles, the next day you can be speaking light language, the next day you're getting, your clairaudience is coming online, the next day Mary Magdalene's coming through to you. It's out of this world. And if you're twin flame, you will know that. But so the bridge is there for us all to cross, but it's hard, deep introspection and not for the faint-hearted. This path is. Let's see if the depth card comes out. Oh no, the keep peddling card came out there. There's your obstacles. The bridge, it's there for us all to cross, but first you have to go up against these obstacles, left, right and centre. They're coming at you. Family, friends, society, judgments, your own obstacles, your own shadows, going into this storm. You feel like you're in a storm, but that's your deep introspection. You're going into your deep introspection, healing all your doubts, all your traumas, all societies, old paradigms. You're breaking all that down. And I liken myself to a Porsche with no brakes. I was like that for many, many years, until Spirit was like, wow, have a rest. And I've learned how to rest now. But I kept pedaling, I kept moving ahead despite the obstacles. And I rose, and I did, and I was that phoenix from the flames. Walked through that fire. That's what was forging me for, There was, this diamond. Going through all these obstacles, all of these shadows, all, to balance it all out in myself, to find my divine feminine, my divine masculine, balance those two powerful energies out in self. One's powerful, two, that's your balance, that's your diamond. You found your diamond. When you balance your divine feminine, your divine masculine out, you're this diamond. You're ready to shine, to help others cross that bridge with you. I've crossed the rainbow bridge. I've crossed all of that. The full spectrum. I'm still healing. Of course, I'm still healing. It's a lifelong journey. I'm humble enough to know that also. I'll be learning for the rest of my life. I will be constantly learning and adding, to my skill sets to help others. But I know I'm this diamond. I know I hold all this light inside of me. Took the journey for that. I had to go ahead of the pack, to guide others over this bridge, to follow. If I can do it, anybody can do it, I was the most poorest person, couldn't get out of bed most days for many, many years. You're not talking days, years. Chronic illness, it's takes you down and changes your life. I got ill probably, I think it was like late 20s, maybe coming into my 30s. I can't remember now. It seems so long ago, and I never thought I would push through those obstacles of my chronic health as well. But I kept pedaling. I was that push with no brakes. Didn't care what storm was coming at me. My mum always said I was stubborn. I always said to my mum one day, well, that stubbornness will help me one day. You know, that determination. Yeah, she went, yeah, you're right, love, it will. My demon's not here now, you know. That was another obstacle. That is another obstacle I'm facing at the moment. You know, I'm missing my mum. My cheerleader, she passed about 6 months ago now. Still very early days, you know. But she always knew I had this light inside of me. She always knew. She said, I always knew you was different. I'm also the 7th daughter. Yeah. So she knew I had this light inside me. She always said she knew I would be helping others one day. And yeah, but first you have to go through your own obstacles. You face that shadow, face the storm, and keep going into this storm. You know, that's the only way you're gonna heal it, is if you go into it. Can't go around it. Got to go into it. Then you become this diamond, and you shine. You shine this light for others, and you help others heal, and find that they too can overcome their obstacles, you know, and they can go into their storms and they can come out the other side shining their light too. Yeah, become that diamond after you've been into this storm. Oh, got the cold again. Oh, these ascension symptoms are really revved up lately. Yeah, so I wrote the bridge. It's there for us all to cross. But it's a choice, you know. You've got free will. I had free will. I had free will to get off this path. Although at times I thought, I ain't got free will. You keep downloading songs into me like I'm a human jukebox every morning. I keep waking up and I'm like singing a different song every day. And you keep sending me these signs. That doesn't seem like free will, but I did have free will. But yeah, I chose to stay on this path, and I chose to cross that bridge. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to come on to do part 2, because it's nearly 37 minutes now. So I shall leave it there, but yeah, you know, we all have this choice to cross this bridge. And the bridge I'm talking about is the heaven and earth, you know, that connection to heaven and earth. We all have this choice to go inside ourselves, look within, not without, you know, not at churches, not at high establishments, none of that. Inside, you know, do that inner healing, go within. The only way, you know, for this journey is to go within. That is when you know that you're that bridge to heaven and earth. You know, heaven's been here all along. You know, we've just been, you know, we look at heaven as if it's, we look up to the sky and heaven's up there. No, it's inside us. We are the bridge, you know, the heaven and earth. It's been here all along. We've just been asleep. But, you know, this new golden age, it's waking us up to our heaven and earth. And, yeah, been here all along. We've just been asleep. So I'm going to leave it there, and I shall come back on with part 2. I'll speak to you soon.